Earlier I mentioned how many successful people have risen above keeping secrets. I'm When I talk about successful people, I'm really talking about those that we can identify as being some of the leading lights in our world, those who have risen from poverty to the greatest heights, and we now view them as being teachers and leaders. I'm not talking about the generally successful population in the corporate world, or those who have made an awful lot of money through making a business. Quite often those people also keep as many secrets as poorer people do as well. So I'm really making reference there to those who are now a leading light, are considered to be inspirers, inspirational talkers, whether they are in the business field or the medical field, or whether they're someone like Oprah Winfrey, for example, who has been very open about her life, and the many other examples that we can think of. So I'm talking about success in terms of how they have risen as a being, as a soul, as this source of light, to become teachers and as a source of wisdom in our world, irrespective of what it is that they're doing for a living. And so that's really the reference there to very successful people. So what does it mean to be successful? For me, the definition of success is how truthful have we been to our passion, to our dream, and to the truth of who we are. The definition of success is how truthful have we been to our longing. And this is one of the most destructive secrets, when we keep that as a secret from ourselves, where we daren't say what it is that we long to do. One of my deepest longings since a child has been to speak of the things of God, and this is what I do. But I kept that secret from myself. So this is another aspect of keeping secrets. What are the secrets you are keeping from yourself about yourself? What is the deeper truth that you dare not speak? So now we've moved beyond the secrets we hold for other people, the secrets we tell other people, and the secrets that we've been told to keep, and the bits of shame that we keep hidden away because we're afraid of what others might think of us, or our religion dictates that this is the bad thing. And this is a far deeper secret. What is the secret that you keep from yourself about yourself? And so I go back to repeating, the definition of success is not measured by notoriety, by fame, or even by an amount of money, or the car or house that you have. And certainly those things can be part of it. But your success is measured by how authentically have you been faithful to the truth of who you know you are and the truth of your dream. Each of us, when we were born into this world, came in knowing something true about ourselves. We came in wanting to become something, and knowing that we were that thing. All of us, we've known that since we were young, and there have been layers upon layers upon layers of having our light snuffed out, and we're encouraged to keep our light a secret. I know in some cultures, certainly in the United Kingdom and in Australia, there's this thing called the tall poppy syndrome. How dare you get too big for your boots? How dare your dream get too big? And that's because we live in a culture of disappointment. The previous generation, so I'm 53, the generation of my parents and grandparents went through major wars where their entire lives were obliterated, all of their dreams crumbled in childhood or in early adulthood, and the adults before them, because there was the First World War followed by the Second World War, and previous to that there were other major events as well, major political calamities, and this has been happening all over the world. And so when you have several generations of dreams and aspirations, of fiancés going off to war and not coming back, of dreams crumbling to dust, And so we come in as the children of the 1950s, the 1960s, the baby boomer children, and we come in with our dreams, and the light gets snuffed out. And we're taught, pass this exam, follow this structure, get yourself a safe career. So it's all about survival. And a lot of it is about looking good on the outside. And so our lack of success for many of us of our age group and younger is around not being faithful to the dream that we came in with of being loyal to the life of disappointment that our parents and grandparents lived. And that is why so many people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s struggle to be happy, struggle to be fulfilled, because we've been following these rules of what society says defines success, and much of it has been a big fat lie. It's been a lie to the truth of our own dream. And so I want to be very clear that none of what I'm saying is talking against not being financially successful. Some of us actually came here to transform how business is done. Some of us came here to become very wealthy through business and to use our wealth for generous purposes, to transform business and to transform the planet that way. Each of us has our part to play. We didn't all come to the world to be nursery school teachers or to be organic farmers or so-called these careers that are the good or the nice or the sociable careers to have. Each pathway is absolutely valid. And there are those who have come to work with children. That is where their passion is. And there are those who came to be writers, to be bakers, to be cooks, to be structural engineers, to be environmental engineers. Each of us is born with a different passion. And so I would define success as being measured by how truthful have we been to our dream, to our longing. What has your dream been? What is your dream? What is the dream that you continually put off to one day maybe? Or maybe you say to yourself, these kinds of dreams are not for the likes of me. Not for people of my color, not for people of my race, or not for people from my neighborhood, or not for people with these kinds of parents, or not for me because I'm too skinny, or not for me because I'm obese, or not for me because I'm female, or not for me because I'm male, or not for me because I'm gay or straight, etc. And so we compartmentalize society and we say that certain jobs and certain aspects of society are only for certain kinds of people. But they are for everybody. And so we have images around who fits where. And each of us comes in with a dream. And so previous generations have sabotaged the dreams of their children because they lost so much, because their lives were determined by devastating disappointment, that they want to protect their children from that devastation, encouraging their children to give up on their dreams of becoming a singer or a musician or an artist or a writer by telling them you can't make a living doing that. And so dreams get squashed. Dreams get squashed. And when the disappointment has been so devastating, we as children, we come in effervescent, exuberant, full of life. And it becomes painful for the adults around us to experience that. They remember the pain of having lost that beautiful and exquisite, full of life, innocent, radiant, beaming, joyous, fabulous life that a young child has. And it gets snuffed out. It gets snuffed out by parents, it gets snuffed out by friends, by school teachers, and by society in general. most of the times, and really most of the times, that is not done with any malicious intent. They're unaware that they're very uncomfortable with it, and they believe that they are protecting the child. But it leads to millions across the planet leading a life of disappointment. And so that also comes down to the biggest secret of all, keeping secret who you really are. Keeping that secret even from yourself. What did you come here to do? Did you come here to be the presence of truth? To be the presence of love? To be the presence of leadership? To be the presence of encouragement? To be the presence of magnificence? How dare you be magnificent? How dare you show me everything that I lost in my childhood? And so therefore mother and father are not aware of how painful that experience is for them. And they believe that they are protecting the child by saying, oh, very few people ever make it as an artist. Very few people make it as a singer. Oh, you can't make it big in the corporate world. You're just a black girl from a poor neighborhood. Oh, you can't make it in sports. You're too thin. You can't make it as a swimmer. Your build is all wrong. You can't make it as a cook. No one's ever known how to cook in our family. We've all been welders and plumbers. Why do you want to be a chef for? You haven't even boiled an egg. You don't know how to do that. And so parents sabotage the dreams of their children all the time. Or, and it's really project their own dreams onto the child. Some of the worst dreams that are projected onto a child is when parents are disappointed in their marriage. And so when the father is disappointed in the mother, can project all of his dreams onto his daughter. And so she becomes the perfect woman, his little princess. Or when a mother is deeply disappointed in her husband, he's not the man that she thought he was going to be. And so when her little prince is born, it is all projected onto him. And so he must live out mother's dreams, or she must live out father's dreams. And so there's no freedom there to discover who they are. And so the deep request of all of us is to discover how to love as we do. Not how to live and love as another does, but to discover how to live and love as we do. But very few of us get that opportunity, because from the moment that we're born, the deep disappointment of the previous generations is present. We're born into it, and as a consequence of that, of all of the wars, of all of the tragedies, of all of the early deaths, then the image of what is wanted and required is projected onto us, and any sign of individuality, of our individual essence, of our individual dreams, is then snuffed out, because it's unbearable. Unbearable to allow your child to fulfill its own dreams whilst you continue to live with the deep disappointment of never having lived your own dreams. I'm making it sound here possibly as if all parents are evil. This is completely subconscious. It is not conscious. And so for those of you who are parents, be aware. For those of you who are children, you already know and recognize much of what I'm saying. And it continues from one generation to the next. And that is because of the profound grief. This is something that I've spoken about in my latest book, Embracing the Power of Truth. The profound grief. We are all so terrified of the profound grief. And the profound grief is the collective wound of humanity, of everything that we have done to one another and to ourselves. And all of that coupled with every forgotten, suppressed, and dismissed dream, of every secret that we've had to hold not only for the family but for the sake of religion, and keeping a secret from ourselves, keeping the truth of who we are a secret from the world, keeping our light hidden. And that collectively, on top of all of the trauma, all of the injustice, all of the rapes, all of the murders, every child that has died before its time, every family that was left without a father who went off to war and didn't come back, every mother who's had to bury her own son, every husband who's seen his wife die in childbirth, all of that collective grief and the nightmares, the absolute nightmares that we visited upon one another, all of the genocides that have taken place with indigenous peoples across this planet, the absolute genocide, the horror of that that's taken place in the United States, in Canada, Argentina, in Australia, in New Zealand, across the world. How do we face this profound grief? How do we seek redemption from all of that? And we start seeking that redemption, we start finding that redemption by promising no more secrets. I will not keep any secrets from you, and I will certainly not keep any secrets from myself. It is not that we have to discover who we are. We have to stop lying to ourselves about who we believe we are and start telling the truth about who we are. And what we are is magnificent, and what we long for is magnificence. That's the truth of who we are. We are magnificent beings. That's it.